back, Legion, to episode 7 of D20 Live's Legend of the Five Rings Season 2. We are having adventures and telling stories in the Emerald Empire of Rokugan during the Chrysanthemum Throne era. We have our 4 characters, investigators, Topaz Champion and Entourage, and plain simple Dakyo, of course. Who can forget that? We're going to start with Dave.
Hey everybody, Dave here. I'm playing Shiba Kinsuke of the Phoenix clan of the Shiba family.
Fantastic. And Mike?
Hi, I'm Mike. I am playing Bayushi Dakyu, the ever-persecuted, constantly maligned, socially ostracized victim of this organization.
And 20 seconds later, Sam, your turn.
Constantly forsaken!
Hi everybody, I'm Sam the production manager, and I am playing Akoto Shizuka of the Lion Clan.
And last but not least, our Topaz Champion, Dom.
Hello, I am Dom. I am playing Daishi Togashi of the I'm a Dragon clan.
Fantastic. So all of you are with, suitably enough, are in the halls of law. You're currently with Mirumoto Tanetsu, who has been sorting various documents which supposedly Doji Satsume, the former Emerald Champion, has been last to look over and peruse. He's been asked to finally sort these back into their place. Oddly enough, this was not touched or had not been touched since his death many weeks ago, and not even his protege, the Ruby Champion, has been allowed to see this place. So all of you were given allowance to step inside, and we were in the middle of that conversation. Satsume had been looking into laws where loyalty and integrity were concerned, and the convergence of Rokugani law and those ideals of Bushido, and how they can be manipulated, twisted, and spun, because, of course, all law is based on the laws of Bushido in Rokugan. Tanetsu approaches you. Yes, specifically to Dakyo. As long as the Topaz Champion is in your presence, you can feel free to look over whatever documents are needed. If he is here on some form of business, I can't say no to him.
At least we have the relief of that. Heaven forbid you be rude. Did the Honorable Doji, and I will make an etiquette roll to get the information I want, so that way even if it's not said to me, I get it in context, I can have the TN raised to at least 20 to 25, because I'm going to rockstar this. Would that be courtier or etiquette to get this information?
What are you trying to do before I can...
Who is his closest confidant? The dead man's confidant.
Yeah, okay. That base TN will be 15. If you want to make a raise, you can. And just let me know what you want from that raise.
If he was doing something this monumental that involved Rokugani law in such a degree, there had to be someone he liaisoned with. Who is that person who actually knows what he was investigating?
So you have 2 different TNs. A TN 15 is to find out who his most trusted confidant is. But TN 20, which you're making the raise for, will be who is he speaking to while investigating this situation, because those could be 2 different people. Correct? Am I understanding that?
Yes.
Okay, then go ahead and roll.
I need to know who knows what the hell he was actually investigating to a point.
Right, yep,
Or at least who would have heard snippets. Why do I bet against me?
Jesus.
Why do I bet against me?
Tenetsu, as he's beginning to move away, stops and looks back, and specifically is watching Togashi, watching Daishi. Like, may I ask for some further clarification, Togashi-sama, whom these individuals are in relation to you? Because with all due respect to the Honorable Bayushi-san, I know the answer to his question, and I do not wish to be... And he makes a biting face to you, Dakyo. Rude. But these are sensitive matters. And he looks to Daishi for confirmation.
The individuals around me are companions of mine, and any questions that they have are questions that I myself would ask had I the time to.
The answer to your question is twofold. Bayushi-san. He both has and had a confidant. His confidant just before his death would be Honorable Sumiko-sama, despite the fact that they argued and debated often. She was his most trusted advisor, our Honorable Ruby Champion. Though he didn't tell her anything, and I think everything, and I think that's part of where their conflict was near the end of his life. He had members of the doji who he was training other members of his household whom he was training. There was a gentleman named Doji Reiju-san. Reiju-san was, up until recently, the head of his household guard. It was kept very quiet, but he was recently discharged.
Did they ever go out? Did they ever go out drinking?
He never did. He was always, he was a, well, there are other delegates who would use the word stickler, but I prefer to use the word paragon against sin and vice. Satsume-sama was.
I'm going to make an investigation roll to see if he's lying if the man had a vice. Because if he had a vice, he has a dealer, and the dealer would know.
TN 50.
TN 50, hon.
50?
Sorry, 20. This is harder, because it's more of a secret that could incriminate an ancestor, so I think that's more of a TN 20 thing.
Satsume-sama had a crippling meth addiction.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
Ancient Japanese meth. What was
No. As far as this individual knows, Satsume-sama didn't. He believed him to be a paragon of virtues against vice, which kind of aligns with the idea that he's looking into integrity. And what would that say to you? The idea that he was looking into integrity and law about integrity, was he looking into his own integrity or the integrity of someone else?
Oh, it's probably someone else. It's just easier when they have a whore to complain to about their problems.
Tenetsu nods his head without saying anything, almost as if say, as you say, Sama, without saying it, and continues to go back to his filing.
I go over to Shizuka.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think we need to spend any more time here, or should we move on to the next person?
I think it might be best to move on to the next one. This one seems to be fairly honest with everything and forthright.
Mm-hmm. Seems very capable and dedicated to his duties.
Exactly.
Well, since I picked this one, would you like the honor of picking our next potential interrogatee?
The correct verb tense is interrogation subject.
I feel like the Bayushi in question is actually too obvious an answer.
I'm incredibly flattered.
You're welcome.
Your hearing is too good.
It has to be.
As all of you discussed, by the way, by way of background, you hear the roaring cheers of the beginning of the current day of tournament. Clearly, the first matches of the day are happening, and the first duels of the day are happening while you are going through this investigation.
What time of day is it?
It is, which is why I bring it up, it is around 11 a.m., so about an hour from when you were supposed to meet Ishikawa-san.
Big McLarge huge.
Yeah, he is Big McLarge huge. He is aside from the crab themselves, one of the largest men in Rokugan.
If we go investigate the unicorn, we could see whether or not Doji Satsume traveled anywhere at odd times. Potentially, the private dining hall with the crane. We could see if he had any secret meetings with individuals.
Yeah, I feel like the Bayushi's too easy of an answer, and the crab wouldn't do this. Not anything sneaky, anyway.
Did we want to split up to save time or do this together?
We should do this together.
Okay, good. I like running around with friends. It's a different version of things.
Also makes it easier for me. So you were headed to visit Shinjo Akiba, at the stables, the unicorn. So the stables are quite extensive. There's enough spots here, enough holdings to house about 150 mounted samurai. Essentially the backup cavalry for the mounted Emerald Legions. And there are 24 individuals going between different mounts, caring for them, brushing them down, keeping them keeping them fed. A number of them are actually over at the competition today, because the competition for this morning, or one of the competitions, is a riding competition. But you're able to find, with a little bit of asking around, a sort of middle-aged Shinjo. They are the prideful, but and understandably so, clan leaders. They are the family of the clan champion. They are the best riders, aside from the battle maidens, the mounted maiden warriors of the unicorn. She's that has a long ponytail tied in a whole bunch of leather bands going down her back in a series of braids. Unicorn wear their hair longer and in a more Mongolian fashion, for lack of a better comparison, than the rest of Rokugani society. Yeah, it's cascading down her back, and her sleeves are rolled up, showing her bare skin from her fingertips to her bicep on both arms.
Yes.
Completely in disregard for traditional Rokugani
How
culture.
salacious.
And she's brushing down one of the horses as you were approaching.
It's the nose ring of Rokugani society.
I approach.
Let's see this, big shoots.
And she turns away from her duties and gives you a bow. Not quite as deep as she should be, but she gives you a respectful bow nonetheless. What can I do for you this morning? I'm surprised you're not at the competition, being asked to oversee some manner of guarding or oversight or...
Then that should emphasize the importance of my being here. I believe it is...
Indeed, it does.
I believe it is Shinjo Akiba.
It is. And she flips the brush and in her hand and puts it away, and leans on the horse, putting her weight against the horse. The horse doesn't move. Clearly, very familiar with her presence. Your friends of yours? I'm not familiar with any of them. Oh, wait. And she looks at Shizuka in particular. No, I know you. I've heard the magistrates talk about you. I'm sorry. You're facing a difficult situation, aren't you?
Yes, one more than most. But that is only part of me starting my samurai career.
I wish you all the best in your endeavors, and I hope that the smear on your name passes quickly. So what can I do for you, Champion-sama?
Well, I've come to just ask you a few friendly questions, along with my comrades who are present to ask questions that I may not think of in the moment.
May I ask about what?
Tell me what you know about Doji Satsume.
I know that he was an excellent conversationalist, at least to me. He's part of the reason that my clan and the Lion have not killed each other over Toshirambo yet. He negotiated again and again and again, and gave to the Lion to satisfy their pride, and gave to my clan and my family. Admittedly, I'm concerned that his death will have dire political consequences for our clan in the year to come, both mine and she nods to Shizuka again. Hopefully you and I don't have to see each other on the battlefield, little one, speaking in deference to Shizuka.
I wouldn't want to either way. You are more capable and talented as being alive than dead.
Thank you. I feel I'm much more worthwhile alive than dead as well. But yes, he was a great compromiser. Roll etiquette or investigation, Dom, since you're the one who asked the question. Base TN is 15.
You said etiquette or...
Etiquette or investigation, either one.
I've got neither. Okay, so I'll do awareness.
Would anyone like to help him? If one of you can make a roll of either etiquette or investigation, and if you succeed, he gets a free raise.
I can roll etiquette.
I would love to
Sure.
roll investigation and give him a free raise.
I'll give Shizuka this roll, since Shizuka's the one involved in this particular conversation.
I'll give Shizuka the roll because Mike's investigation roll's too high, is that's what you're saying.
Yep. Agreed. Can't have you guys easy moding this.
We only got 2 episodes left. We got to hit it sooner or later.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, I'm in it!
That's my girl.
All right, so that's a free raise for you, Dom. So you only need a TN 10. You can make the raise instead again. So basically, you're going to get a free raise from this by the rules. So your target number is 10. But if you want to make it higher, you can to try and get more information.
I'm not going to risk that because I believe I'm just rolling 3, keep 3. Should have taken it.
Sumiko-sama would often complain about her arguments with her in her role as Ruby Champion and how she interacts with the Emerald Champion. I heard them arguing one night over a disagreement that, as far as I know, remained unsolved. The argument in question was about their duty to the Emperor versus His Highness's children, to which they owed the greater duty. The current emperor or what is to come, the past or the future. I'm not sure who started the argument, why the argument was there, and there was also something about the fact that he had spoken of this not just to her. And I think that's probably where it was. Sumiko-sama is prideful more than anything else. She's a good woman, and she has and will continue to make a fine champion and a fine representation of our clan in the Imperial Court. But understand this as the new Topaz champion in your interactions with her. Pride is her downfall.
And what do you know of Doji Reishu?
Doji Reishu? That name does sound familiar. He was one of the ones who Sumiko talked about. She rhymed off a series of names. I didn't know any of them. I don't recognize any of them, but that name is familiar as one of the people who he spoke to this situation about. I don't know who he is, but I recognize that name from their argument.
I hate being right. You just see this ugly look on Dakio's face, like he's rubbing his eyes, like a piece clicked into place for him.
It seems that our Bayushi friend here has gained a headache.
Oh, yes, a head, yes.
I have tea that can help you with that.
Oh, there's no...
It's foreign, if you like. It's not actually tea. It's more of a floral, herbaceous mixture.
There's no cure for this particular headache.
I'm sorry.
Just under Dakio's breath, he mutters so that no one else can hear. There's no cure for a headache brought on by fucking syphilis. I think I know who did it. I think I know who did it. I know why they did it, and I also know they did it for the wrong fucking reason because they're stupid like that. Sam, did you figure it out too?
Well, Shizuka hasn't because she doesn't have your information.
No, she doesn't. But did Sam figure it out?
Sam might have figured it out.
So I'll assume you guys are done. Where do you want to go next? Just to ensure we keep time and keep pace.
Sure. Do people want to hear Dakio's theory?
Sure, Dakio.
If you present it.
Well,
let's go outside and on the way to where I'm supposed to make.
You need to go. The Emerald Palace is quite large. It's the better part of an hour to walk from one end of it to the other end of it. So
let's
you
walk
need
and talk.
I think I've wrapped up our murder mystery, and I can firmly conclude that the crime is in fact quite unsolvable. By virtue of the fact that if I solve it, I'm going to die.
I imagine you're in belief that this goes over even my rank.
Technically, yes. Technically, no. You see, Doji was occupying himself with a mental problem of lineages. And that's funny, because there's only one real reason why the Emerald Champion would concern himself with that sort of thing. This is the sentence I need to tell you, because you're going to find out about it in about, until Tottori wins the tournament, which I have money on that he will. Not actual money, because I don't gamble with things I'm not 100% sure of. So, the Emperor's entire big pick to win the tournament is, of course, Kota Tottori. It's a reasonable guess for anybody.
Well, he is a good man.
He is. I think he'd be a wonderful Emerald Champion. What isn't commonly known is what the Emperor is actually debating at this current time, and I would like you all to swear yourselves to secrecy on this subject matter, because you're all going to say shit very loudly afterwards.
Please. Why?
Well, if you wish to keep yourselves morally, honorably above the circumstances of which I will give you this information, I'm happy not to tell you.
What you say to the nearby wall is of no concern to us.
All right, cool. The Emperor intends to not allow his eldest son to become the inheritor of his throne, and intends for his second son to do so.
No.
I think that's what the Honorable Doji was deliberating extensively, because I think that the Emperor was going to give that responsibility to the Doji to do it to avail him of that problem. Here's where it gets funny. I think that's the reason why he was investigating. I don't think that's the reason why he was killed. No. I think someone thought he was investigating something else, and that's why he was killed. Because there's no earthly reason for anyone involved in that process, apart from, of course, the Honorable Hante Satori. Which I doubt that he possesses the investigative qualities to determine that, to orchestrate the Doji's murder. But I do know for a fact that that is currently the Emerald Champion's responsibility to deliberate that. Who will be a Kota Tottori should all go according to plan.
You hear a cheer in the background. Someone has just won some particular event.
It is.
Are
Are you all right, Honorable Shizuka?
Would you like to divulge how you acquired all this information to justify your theory?
I cannot, which should be all the validation that it needs.
I'm telling you to tell me.
The person who told you the information, is potentially an equal rank to him.
Potentially, but not actually.
You don't actually know what Sadaka's status is.
No one knows what Sadaka's status is. That's the point.
Yes. So you could get away with saying no, he's higher rank, because you don't know.
Well, I don't know, but I also know who gave him the order.
Yes, true. Agreed. Yes.
I cannot for two reasons. One, they outrank you. Not the person who gave me the order, but the person who gave the person to give me the order. Which should be all the evidence you need if you have an inkling of what the hierarchy is of my clan.
And if I give you the benefit of the doubt that you are being honorable, which I do, so I believe you.
That'd be a miracle.
Come so far.
What?
You've come so far.
Now, I can't tell you who gave me that order because I can't tell you. If you possess even the remotest deductive quality, you will know why. A scorpion can't tell you why. But if you ask me if the Emperor told me not to tell you, the answer's no. So where down on the food chain does it go?
I look to Shizuka.
It would come from his own clan champion at this point.
Could it have? That is a possible candidate.
I look over to Kensuke to see his reaction.
Puzzled.
Devin, just so I know, am I wasting everyone's time with my head theory, or am I actually on track?
No, you didn't actually finish the second part of your theory, which was interesting to me.
I can't because I figured out who did it!
So it's like, okay, all right. I'm curious where...
shithead! I can't tell them the second part. Out of character. I can't tell them Bayushi Kachiko killed the fucking Doji champion because he figured out that our fucking kid is in her husband's! Fuck!
No.
I think you're short-circuited at the end of your sentence there.
God damn it! But it's her! It's her pattern, her MO. It's entire... Who else could it be?
Ooh.
And I can't say it. It's why she's concerned her son is here. It's why... Because all of his investigators and conspirators are here. She bumped him off because she thought he knew. It's the only thing that makes sense. And it pisses me off because it's too fucking obvious.
Moving on.
Hate that woman!
Yes.
You leave them behind while the three of them go off, and the three of you need to decide where you want to go.
I need to go to the meeting place with Ishikawa.
Yep, you need to go meet Ishikawa.
Yep.
So you arrive at the central training fields, which is different than the outside of the Emerald Palace, the contest fields. So the central training field has about half a dozen other Emerald magistrates and Sepun guardsmen. There's the two guards who always follow Ishikawa-sama himself. Ishikawa-sama is standing in the center. Waiting seems to be waiting for you.
Is he in training gi?
Yes, he is.
Does he have a sword on him?
He has a spear and his daisho on him. Yes. Okay.
I approach the ring, give him a great big deep bow.
He gives you a reasonable bow as back. What is the answer to my question?
I ruminated on this for quite some time. And I think I have an answer for you. To whom I give my life, whether it be the champion, my father, or my son. The champion either requests it or demands it. My father has earned it. And my son deserves. So my answer, to whom I give my life, is all three.
He throws you a spear that he's holding.
Oh, hell.
Very good.
Oh.
We of the Hidden Guard watch over all of the Empire by projecting he who loves all of the Empire. It is not our charge and not our choice whom we protect as much as we would like for it to be. You hear that catch in his throat.
Oh.
We have to guard everyone to our distaste. And he walks up to you and puts his hand on his shoulder. What do you think of Bayushi Dakio, your companion?
Yeah.
Despite what the plays would have you think of the Scorpion, he is actually quite the honorable actor.
I was questioning Totori-sama's actions that were taken earlier today. You need to know about this because you are guarding over Kaide-san, who is very important to me. and who is apparently also going to be very important to Totori-sama. If she was important personally, and he starts he strikes at you with his sword, in beginning a sparring session with you. So we'll have in the background the two of you. He's testing your ability to have a conversation, to pay attention, to multitask, which is part of what the Sepun Guard have to do. So this will be happening in the background while the two of you are sparring. Offered another contestant, a particular Bayushi Aramoro, the younger brother of Dakio's champion, the opportunity to withdraw honorably from the Emerald from the tournament.
I'm sad I missed that.
That did not go particularly well, as you can imagine. And you can see that his pace picks up and he's trying to keep his frustration and concern up.
Dang it.
He did this, Totori-sama did this, based on information that he gleaned, which he did not divulge to me, or choose to not divulge to me, of your friend, Dakio. He didn't say what the information was, but he said it came from a trusted source, and when I pushed the source, he at least gave me a name. So I need you to know, since you have a good head on your shoulders, and you seem to understand the purpose of the Sepun and the intent of our mission, I will take your word that Dakio is honorable, and that what he said, whatever it was that made Totori make this choice, was honorable enough, and I have to be okay with that. You need to know that Totori Kaide may now be in danger as a result of this. I don't know what game Totori is playing at by trying to push Aramoro out of the tournament, but he's made a dangerous enemy, and your charge might be in danger as a result.
Well, not only is the political movements endangering the whole thing, but Mihado works against everything that my clan has come to understand about working with the spirits. Kami don't react well when pushed.
You catch Sepun being a little tight-lipped on this, and he nods his head. Agreed. That is the case. But there's something more that you can sense beneath the surface about that, if you want to try and push it.
I don't want to push too hard.
What skill do you think you could use to try and get him to divulge more information? You do know the Sepun are the ones who are being taught this, or at least are being given insight to it, so that they can better protect and serve the Emperor.
I don't exactly have etiquette, but I do have investigation.
Okay.
And I'm sure he would appreciate a more
forthright.
Yeah. Forthright, yes. That's the one. So I'll throw down a investigation. Let me just set up the roll real quick.
Okay. Do you want to spend a void point or make any raises on it? The base TN for this, he's not going to be completely open about it, so it wouldn't be a 5 or a 10. It would be a challenging one a 15 as the TN, because it's not a deep dark secret of his, but it's something that he would keep tight-lipped about under normal circumstances. So if your TN's 15, do you want to make a raise?
No. I only have 6K3.
Okay.
So
do you want to spend a void point at all?
No. I'm gonna roll.
Go ahead.
A buck naked on this one. My question being, I feel that this new Mihado, if taught to us, may backfire.
Okay. Go ahead
and
roll.
Anger the spirits. Oh, cool.
Damn. Okay.
All right.
You could have made that raise.
I could have.
Yeah. You continue to spar in silence for the better part of a minute or two, and then he finally speaks up. It already has. There are protective wards over the entire Emerald Castle, while the heir and, well, both heirs and all of the other participants in the Emerald Tournament are here. The Jade Champion has informed me that many of those wards have been, while not attacked, acting oddly. There's a great deal, many things that angry Kami can do. Depends on the Kami. I'm sure you are familiar with this. What is your religion role, actually?
I'm not very religious,
Okay.
it turns out.
Then we'll go with that. I won't make you roll to save time. If you are unfamiliar, and this is something you do need to be familiar with, even though you will be working closely with Jade magistrates, Kami, when they are angered, in some manner, usually lash out at the world. They can't lash out at the person who angered them themselves, but they can lash out in different ways. They can, Earth Kami will open holes in the earth. Fire Kami will start fires. Arakami play tricks. I've seen them change the color of robes before to embarrass someone in the middle of the court, walking in one clan's colors when they are another clan's colors. Water Kami can change a person's body. Air Kami can change a person's emotions, make them anger, make them bereft, depressed, any number of different things. Kami are acting out here at the tournament. The Jade Magistrates are still looking into it, but there are incidents of water and air Kami acting,
lashing out.
that are lashing out here at the tournament.
Are they testing the wards, or are the wards protecting us from their lashing out?
The wards are protecting us from the worst of them, so they're doing small things. They are changing aspects of people. They're changing aspects of places. They're doing tricks. They're testing their limits. But those limits have been enacted upon people and places.
Well, one thing that we can learn from the demonstration of the Mihado to the Sepun is that the Kami are very unhappy with it. I feel it could only escalate from here.
I agree, which is why we need to be careful, especially Kaide. I can imagine Aramoro trying to work some kind of subterfuge. He is known for it. Not for magic, but for working with whatever means he can.
Even though Kaede gave me the day for my own
Means and ends.
Means and ends, yeah. For my own means, I feel that I should go back and accompany her from henceforth.
That is entirely up to you. That is your choice. Again, remember, we protect everyone. That is our duty. And the problem comes when there is conflict between those individuals. I am supposed to protect Tottori, but he is the one who is putting someone important to me in danger. But I need to protect Hokuto Tottori, especially if he becomes the new Emerald Champion. Must I?
Of course.
Conflicts. Understand that. And he pets, and he gives you a bow. Excellent form, excellent technique. I understood that, and I now believe the rumors that you were able to fight off 4 samurai and defend a delegate at the Topaz tournament all on your own are clearly true.
That was truly challenging. It very much put me to the test.
You've come out the other end of it, all the better and all the stronger. Thank you for this conversation.
Thank you, Ishikawa-sama.
Of course.
Deep
Return
bow.
to your day, however you see fit to use it.
I'll return his spear to him. I'm sure he wants to work on that.
And he goes back to working a kata form with it.
The spear is mine.
There are many like it.
Yep. So, Dave, do you return to the others?
I think I'm going to pass by the others and work out. I think I'm going to try and steer us back and close to Kaede as often as I can.
Of course. Okay. All right. So, to the three of you, while you're waiting for Kinsuke to do this, what are you doing?
Well, I didn't tell them that I thought it was Kachiko, right?
No.
No, you didn't. No.
So, at this point, we can either go and talk to the Bayushi or the Crane, or we go and find Doji Reiju in particular.
He does seem to be rather involved in this.
Only because of the fact that he may actually give us a little bit more insight into who. Because if the why is as bad as Dakyo says, then...
I do hope I'm wrong.
We all hope you're wrong.
I know.
Perhaps it would be best if we contacted Reiju and not went to one of the others on this list. Would that be defying the orders of...
No, she gave us the list in order to start.
Okay.
Right, if we find that our investigation goes past this, then...
Yep, you're totally within your rights to go follow any other leads. So you begin to explore the grounds. You make your way in the direction of the tourney grounds, first and foremost. The tourney grounds themselves since that's where most people would be. You find that the Emerald Palace itself is actually fairly abandoned aside from the servants during the day. And you hear news of a number of different contestants moving on. You hear that Matsu Suko, the head of the Matsu lion family, was actually defeated by Totori. And he has moved on. Unfortunately, Suko has not. Several other contestants have moved on. Aramoro has moved on, in particular, and several others. Daishi, because you are now involved in this particular circle, this Onyx Crown circle, as you approach the tourney grounds, you see a collection of individuals in and around where Reiju is, but it's also very close to the Imperial family. Hante Daisetsu is not sitting with them, but the Onyx Crowns are all sitting together, and they're sitting very close to what would effectively be referred to as the Imperial box seats for the Imperial family.
Hot box, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You see several individuals. You see Miyuki, you see Shahai, you see Reiju, several others, all within the Onyx Crown sitting together.
So I know that they're accompanying royalty, but I can still pull Reiju aside, right?
You could, yeah.
Before I do, I turn to everyone and I say, before we proceed on this, though it is my duty to do it regardless of whatever outcome may befall me, be it punishment or worse, right now, what are we looking at if we discover what truly happened? We report it to Sumiko, Sumiko-sama, and then what? Does she even have the capability to do anything about it?
Well, technically, she's the Ruby Champion. Until literally the Emerald Champion is crowned, she is acting Emerald Champion.
And the Emerald Champion is the de facto distributor or administrator of law in Rokugan.
That's all I needed to know. Okay, let's go.
If you're worried about this reaching sort of a champion level, the Emerald Champion specifically exists to administer law among them. If I have that right, Devin.
Yes.
Do you guys need me for this particular encounter, or can I peel off and check on
Kaide?
I think you can check in.
Yeah.
Can I check in on Daryu and see where he is?
You can ask for him, but he's in the Imperial Hotbox. He's sitting with a group of people who are in and around Satori. You can ask for him, and he would likely leave and come to you.
Then I shall.
Okay. All right. So you ask for Daryu, and he's given acquiescence to leave. Satori is actually very clearly watching the violence of the tournament with a great deal of interest, and just sort of is like, yeah, go. Daryu, make a investigation roll.
Ooh, my best roll.
No raises. This is more like a spot check, and in this game, that's the spot check. It'll be awareness investigation, though.
Oh, awareness investigation?
Yes.
So.
Because it's noticing things around you, not looking and studying something.
9 keep 4.
Why do I bother trying to challenge you people?
I do.
Specifically him.
Look, if you put me in an arm wrestling competition, my arm's gonna fold up like a tatami mat.
This is a murder mystery.
I know.
We have a jacked up Sherlock Holmes on our side.
Yeah, really.
What
you
are
have
you
Moriarty
doing?
if he had a conscience on your side. Every 10 seconds I have to turn around and go, was it me? No. But it could have been.
No, I wouldn't do something like this.
But
Thank
this is
you.
what people like me would do.
Yeah. Dakio, you notice as Daryu is moving through the crowd, a group of individuals who you don't recognize. For reference, it's the Onyx Crowns, that group of individuals. One woman in
Crowns like widely known, or is it more of a
as a player?
Mike knows
DM
they're
to
Onyx
player.
Crowns, but you know.
One woman in particular in unicorn colors is watching Daryu, and you catch with your roll a smirk. They're all watching, whispering, very clearly. Like saying horrible things about him, knows who he is, very clearly like spreading rumors amongst each other about him. But the unicorn in particular seems to be watching him almost with a predatory eye. You don't know her, don't recognize her, but it's one of those like, what the fuck was that? But she's watching with a smirk and a predatory eye. as he's passing by. He gives the bows and respectful nods to everyone who he passes by.
Honorable Dario, it is a pleasure to see you again. I hope I...
Bayushi-sama!
Yes.
And he gives
Oh, he likes me. Come, walk with me, talk with me, please. What are your thoughts?
Of course.
Your inquiries. Are you asking about the other day with my conduct?
Yes.
Please. I am your servant. I am at your disposal. I will answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Were you not afraid?
No.
Why not?
There are a couple of reasons. One, I knew the outcome before it was going to happen. Two, I considered all the possibilities. And three, the most fundamentally important point of it all, my honorable champion to be. The reason why I did it is also the reason why I was not afraid of it. Because I found it fun.
And you find enjoyment? A balm against the difficulties of society and culture and expectation?
Oh, yes. One must find their relief wherever they can. Some find it in the legs, the thighs of a geisha. Some find it at the bottom of a sake cup. I find it in my...
He pulls out his fan and covers his embarrassment. But he nods his head, of course.
Are you uncomfortable with vices?
I'm not practiced in them.
One does not need to be practiced in them to understand the merit, though.
I'm afraid I don't know much about that either.
Well, it's quite simple. When a man likes a woman a great deal, but he can't afford to express it, he pays a small denomination of money and he does whatever he wants to her.
I don't think we need to explain prostitution.
I think we do. Please go into more detail.
Takes notes.
He gets a little bit of a serious cast on his face. But are we not supposed to be above that?
Ideally, yes. But let me ask you this then. What do you perceive a wound to be?
A wound?
Yes.
Something that is inflicted upon you.
Mm-hmm. Now, does a wound need to be physical?
Not at all.
Oh, very good. Then, following that logic then, if a wound need not be physical, then it can be presumed that there are two ways to treat the wound. The way that ensures healthy restoration of that which is injured, and, of course, indulgence of methods that, while they feel satisfactory, are not necessarily beneficial to the act of healing. For example, let us say that a young man, not necessarily you, but I'm just the best example I've got, scratches his leg, and it itches and irritates him. Medicine dictates that he will take a cream to alleviate the itching, and thus allow it to heal naturally. But how many young men will scratch their knee, aggravating the wound, causing it to bleed? Correct?
So you're saying that whether it's physical wounds or emotional wounds, none of us are above scratching that itch.
Everyone is capable of scratching. Not necessarily everyone does. Assuming that everyone scratches is a folly, because sooner or later you will run into someone who does not, and you will find yourself expecting a weakness where there is none. It's not about coming to conclusions. It's about being fluid, adapting. For example, with the Hante Satori, 3 people walked up to him and appealed to his honor. 1 person walked up and appealed to his vice. Who got the result?
We'll cut to that. Cut back in a moment. Kinsuke.
Hello.
You were coming to check in on Kaide, and you see that there's actually a situation forming. There's many guards around her quarters.
Oh hell.
There's individuals who are moving in and out of the quarters.
Oh shit! My pace quickens.
You are welcomed in, and the fire tensei who you met last session beckons you in. There are dangers that are here when Mihado is involved. Look, this is someone who is close to Kaede-sama, and you recognize one of her servants, one of her heinen, someone who's around her and near her. The wards didn't protect her from the Kami's ire. And you look down and you see a body that's nearly emaciated. It's thinned, it seems to be drained of water entirely. And something that you do catch that startles you immediately is you see 2 bright blue eyes in a head that would normally have brown or black, like any normal Rokugane. And you're staring into them, and you know you've seen eyes like this before.
Americans.
You've seen almost an exact duplicate of these eyes before, and you know in that moment that These eyes aren't natural. This intensity of blue, and you know exactly who had these exact same eyes, these same intense blue eyes that are not possible. Dakio, you're staring into those eyes as he asks a question. If I have garnered the anger of someone, I think, could we use their vice against them to get them to stop? And should we?
That is entirely a question that is decided within the details. And if you trust me, my honorable champion to be, I will advise you to the best of my abilities.
Dakio-sama, I feel I have been cursed. And he indicates his face. And we will end episode 7 there.
What? Devin, what the hell?
This isn't canon.
Devin! Dang it!
We need to use that fucking scroll that we never opened.
Where's the scroll? With
that, went a little long. Thank you for hanging in with us. My name is Devin. I am your storyteller for this episode. We got one more episode to go, the penultimate one. But until then,
I'm Dave. I've been Shiba Kinsuke, now thoroughly concerned.
I'm Mike, playing Bayushi Dakio, and I will see my plans come to fruition.
I'm Dom. I'm Togashi Daishi.
I'm Sam, the production manager, and I am Makoto Shizuka, and hopefully I will figure out everything that needs to be figured out.
Yay! See everyone for the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.